talking about the business. Is that okay, Heidi? Can I say that? I'm
Absolutely.
going to say it.
You did it.
Exactly.
You already said it.
And we have, I don't care if he accepts it or not, a friend of mine, James Sanders. James is a president of Shared Resources. I have known James for years. Back when I was running, I don't even know if James remembers this. I was running for office, and I called him because I wanted to get his opinion, because I was thinking about a platform that I was going to provide some kind of a web for everybody in the Cornelius area, something like that. I think James kind of liked the idea of the entire city you'd be able to get on the web.
Right.
And then he explained the cost.
And you were like, yeah, I'm not doing that.
But what I liked about James was he didn't say, this is stupid, Joe. He said, okay, let me tell you how to do this. Let me do a little research, and I'll get back with you. So, James, thank you, my friend, for coming today. I don't know why this is the first time you've been on the show. I don't know why.
I don't know, but I'm happy to be here, proud to serve.
I'm going to get you back on as a co-host because we got so much stuff to talk about, IT, chit-chat, and that sort of stuff.
I look forward to it.
And this short period of time is just not going to be enough to do it.
Okay.
So why don't you, before we get started, let people know what Shared Resources is.
All right, Shared Resources, a managed service provider. We do everything we can proactively and then reactively identify opportunities for improvement. It's IT solutions all in one.
And you've been doing this for some time.
19 years now.
19 years?
19 years. Started out of the back of the van in Cornelius.
Nice.
That's the truth.
You're starting to show your age, too.
I know. That's okay.
Yeah. So, and if somebody wanted to reach you, how could they? Because I promise you, the people listening right now have, I'm confident, other than Julie, who's got a Mac and thinks she doesn't need you, right? I'm confident they need some type of IT work by the end of the week next week. So how can they reach you?
704-655-0615 or sronc.com.
sronc.com. James is phenomenal, and he's like a really good guy, too.
Thank you.
Isn't that so nice?
That matters. You know what I mean? That matters.
Oh, it's working.
So James, I want to talk about the seminar you did. You put on. Julie went to it, and it had to do with the dark web. And she said, Joe, it was just phenomenal, the information that you provided. She said, I don't know where to start, right? So I just kind of want to just hand the mic over to you and let you roll, right? But talk a little bit about that, because we small business people need to be aware of this.
Oh, yes, you absolutely do. Sharon talked a little bit about some of the threats that are out there. So the dark web is a part of the internet that is intentionally anonymous and encrypted so that people can't see who you are, and you can get away with what you want to get away with. It's really, in the grand scheme of spiritual life, good versus evil. This is the really bad stuff. Everything that you want that's bad is out there. And a piece of that are the databases from the breaches that Sharon talked about. And in those databases are all your personal information.
So all the mistakes that Sharon did over the years, now they're able to come in and take over. That's what happened.
Well,
I love that her mic is out, so she can't defend herself right there.
It is no fault of hers.
Come on, see, he's such a nice guy. See,
that's right. Yeah,
he is a nice guy.
Yeah.
We rely upon so many outside agencies to hold on to our username and password and our information to keep it safe, but we don't have control over what happens with it. So. Eventually, Equifax gets hacked, and their database is stolen, and the bad guys hold on to it, do some bad stuff with it themselves for a while, and then the data becomes slightly stale, so they pass it on to someone else, and they sell it on the dark web.
So how many people are actually on the dark web? Like, how big is this phenomenon? I mean, is it only the bad guys that go there, or
no?
Who is it?
Yeah,
who is this?
Who is on there? Is my teenager on there?
Is your teenager on there?
I'm positive that's the case.
It is not that difficult to get to. With the right browser, the right encryption approach to things, you can get on there and do what you need to do.
Okay, you know what? My head's starting to hurt. Okay, let's take a break, and when we come back, I'm going to find out what the heck you're talking about, dark web, compared to what, light web? Let's take a break, and you can actually try and help me figure out what the heck a dark web is. Kind of like cowboy, there's a dark hat and a light hat.
Exactly. You're on it. You're getting it.
I'm halfway there. When we come back, we're going to figure out the bonanza world of the web. If it's Friday morning, your business matters. We'll be right back, and I'm going to figure out who's on the dark web. And we're back. We got to get right to it. You're listening to WSIC. I am Joe Vagnone, and this is Local Biz Now. James, I said James now, but we get back, you're going to have about 7 minutes, and you said, there's no way I can't describe this in 7 minutes. So do your best to explain, when you say dark web, what exactly are you trying to describe to a fellow like me?
All right, the best analogy is an iceberg. So we spend most of our time in the part of the iceberg above the water. That's, as you would refer to it, the Google.
The Google. Who taught you how to ring the doorbell?
I do well.
Underneath is where all the rest of it is. That's the big databases that are driving everything. And then in another piece underneath that, and I don't know icebergs that well, but wherever the bad things happen in icebergs, that's the dark web. And it's all anonymous. So to ask who's on there is very misleading. We assume there are a lot of dogs driving it. Right.
And see, and that's the thing that angers me, James, because I don't know why it has to be anonymous.
It's built like that on purpose. The government did that on purpose.
Really?
Yes, absolutely. Because they want to be able to do transactions that are, that are not traceable. Also, they want to be able to do what they need to do without people seeing their information.
Interesting.
Right. That's off the grid as best they can. It's still on the grid, but.
And I don't know how I feel about it. I guess I would have to think through what is better, to be able to be anonymous or to be able to track something like that. You know, it really angers me because I purposely have taught myself how to use this godforsaken computer, right? And now, right when I started to figure out and have it work for me in my business and help my business be more efficient and productive, I realize now that there are many ways people can harm me, mislead me, and take advantage of me in ways that I used to know. I used to know to walk on the other side of the street. I used to be able to look at somebody and either get comfortable or not comfortable. Now, as a business person, I have to learn all of this all over again in an electronical setting. And it's very difficult for a guy like me to do that. And I'm positive, as y'all laughing at me, there are a lot of people out there that feel the same way I do, that they have just destroyed what could be just a wonderful tool for business.
That is correct. There's money there in that destruction, and so it draws the bad guys. They do bad things.
So what does Shared Resources do to help their clients prevent this from happening?
Well, in regards to the dark web, we do a dark web monitoring. What we do is we go out, we go into the dark web so that you don't have to. We collect databases that are for sale. And
I just envisioned this, like I can see him going there with a leather jacket on and a big shotgun, and he is defending Joe in the dark web. Okay, I got that. I got that picture.
So he has the office with the big light windows, and then he has the dark office.
Okay.
I was in my underwear last time I got on the dark web. And I used my least valuable computer just in case I need to throw it away. So it's not that exciting in reality.
You just took I had a perfect, like I was getting this man's crush on you, that you were going and defending.
Well, I just gave you me in my underwear. That's not working for you? So we get collections of databases. We put them into a larger database, and we run our clients' email addresses through them to see which credentials have been compromised, and we create reports of those to let people know. So the day after that becomes available, if we find it and buy it on the web, we add it to our database. We do a scan. We look for your email address. We send you a report.
Now, does this take time to go through these databases? Is it something that happens very quickly, or does it take like a day to do that?
We can do it in less than a day.
Okay.
Yeah, importing a newly purchased database and scanning it for yours is 24 hours.
Okay.
Yes.
So I can call you and say, James, okay, hey, man, go to the dark web, clean me up.
That sounds reactive. What I'm going to do is proactive. I'm going to start looking for you before you ask me. And then I'm going to send you reports.
I like him. You see that?
I know. I like it.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to send you a report and say, hey, your LinkedIn account was hacked. LinkedIn was hacked a while back, and there were a whole lot of credentials.
Right.
So almost everybody that was on LinkedIn back then has a set of compromised credentials. It's a very easy target. And this is your username, this is your password. You said you have the same password for everything. Let's say it's very common. 85% of us do that. So if your core password is banana, maybe banana 2019 is this year's password that you use.
Wow, he's good.
I know. All right. I'm very
good. You know that, right?
Or if you want to get really exciting, Banana 2019 exclamation point.
I know, right?
How creative is that? Everybody in here is going, oh yeah.
I can't believe he knows that.
I know, right? Yeah, and I'm not as good as the bad guys. So the bad guys, let's say you have 4 or 5 credentials breached. Now they have username, which is very frequently the same email address, or maybe 2 or 3 email addresses that we all have in our lives, and then they have 3 or 4 examples of your password and the full password, and they start to see that pattern. Using that pattern, they can get into basically anything that they want to. It's shocking.
Wow.
It is shocking. So it is a huge threat. Not many IT companies, not many IT professionals are into it. I would say we're in the top 1% that actually digs into it as deeply as we do. And
okay,
and
James,
that's
can I
our
afford
value.
this? Can I afford this? Because, you seem awful expensive. I could see you now in your drawers. This is for Joe. This will be $100,000.
I have different approaches for different places, but I'll tell you, even my top most client with the deepest pockets only pays about $100 a month for it.
Okay.
And when you look
that
at
seems like worth every penny of it.
when you have 250 users with email accounts, 250 potential threats out there, and I'm grabbing them from all of those databases, it's absolutely worthwhile.
So I'm going to tell people we don't have enough time to dig into this, but before they start texting me, tell me how mad they are that I did not give you enough time. I want everybody to be aware we're going to bring you back for an entire month, and we're going to dig into all this IT stuff. James,
very
thank
much
you
look
so
forward
much.
to it. Thank you.
Go to SRONC.com to get all you want to know about James. He is a phenomenal guy, and I don't care if he wants to agree with it or not. He's my friend. He the man defending you from the dark web. James, what advice would you give somebody right now that's listening that's saying, man, I don't even know where to start?
Talk to your IT provider. Get their ball rolling out them.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
You're listening to Local Biz Now. I am Joe Vagnone, and you just listened to the dark web master, James. If it's Friday morning, your business matters. Heidi, I love you, darling. I love you.
And happy anniversary to you.
6 years.
Fantastic. Make it 6 more.
Be right back.